Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back, or welcome to another Bangs Audio review. Taking a little break from the top 10. Well, the next list is going to be the all-time list, and that's going to be a little funky. So apologies in advance. It's not going to be like a top 10 or 15. It's more going to be like a, ranking sort of, not a list, but you know what I'm saying, where they have like the different tier rankings. That's going to be the way I got to do it, because I just can't pick a favorite out of everything. But anyway, that's coming up. That'll probably be either the end of this week or beginning of next. I'm trying to squeeze all this stuff in before the new year. Anyway, CKLVX D62 is going to be on it. That is for sure. This little set right here, it's not really little. You'll see in a minute. Really just grabbed me by the ears, right from the get-go, from within probably 5-10 seconds of putting it in, putting a song on, and just going, yep, no doubter, absolutely. Cool, man. Myer-Audio just really been knocking it out of the park. They really got their start last year, but didn't really gain much, if any, traction until the beginning of this year. Awesome Danny was one of the first people on board. We're the Myer-Audio crew here. I think Jay's on board, and I think a couple other people, if they come to mind, I'll shout them out. But yeah, we've got a few. We've got a few that know, and the longer it goes, the more we talk about them, the more people are going to know. Everybody should know this brand. They do an exceptional job with everything, except maybe the ear tips on the less expensive models. Yeah, I think actually with this set, they've got the ear tip thing much more figured out, much better quality inclusion. But I get ahead of myself, as always. So let's start off with a little unbox and specs. You can see the case. The case I love. It is it's leather, and then it has a little bit of when you've got that extra zipper on your suitcase that allows it to sort of expand, if you're like jamming your whole wardrobe in there. That's what this has, and the earlier models didn't have it. It's flexible, so it it squeezes down, but it also comes up depending on the thickness of the cable you are using. You'll see which cable I've got on them in a moment. And it is an IV IPQ cable, and is a little bit thicker, so this extra space here for sure helps. Excuse me, just had a little sip of water before I got started. I attempted an unbox, a 60-second short unbox of this set, and that was just dumb, because the sleeve is like basically really tight, and when I'm like ripping plastic off and trying to squeeze everything into 60 seconds, probably not the best idea. Anyway, but for a good, for a laugh, go check that short out. It's pretty funny. Inside the box, you get this nice little sheet of protective paper, quality control, and user manual paperwork. The IM sat here attached to their cable, and their cable is a nice one. It's modular. Very nice heft to it. Not too thick, not too heavy. And I would say no need to cable swap, even though I did, and that's just because I have extra cables to play around with. Onto the ear tips. There are a couple of sets here. You've got sort of semi-transparent or translucent. Those are on the, I think, wider bore. They're at least normal bore, maybe wider bore. And then you have these black silicone tips, which are basically like dead ringers for the Final Type E. And I tried both these and the Final Type E on the D62, and it is pretty awesome, honestly. I don't know if you could see those or not. Got my headlamp on. I'm probably gonna have to turn it off once we look at the screen, but yeah, real close in style and actually comfort and build quality. They're not Final Type B, but very nice approximation. So for the first time, with a CKLVX set, Myer-Audio CKLVX set, you don't have to tip roll, you can just use what's included. That is a nice feature. And then we are looking at the 3.5 single-ended termination. It is an L. Where'd the cable go? Oh, yeah, here. So nice touch. This is actually really a good, it's a good pickup on their part, because you know they have the circular, and these are really tough to get on and off, so I'm not going to do it. That's a good thing, because you don't want it pulling out all the time. And with the L shape, it actually fits into the case better, right? Because if it's just straight, if it's a straight plug, then you got to find a spot for it in the circular case where it's not like, poking through or pushing against the shells of the IEMs. It just becomes kind of a challenge. With the L shape, that kind of fixes that. So so really, I think they're listening to feedback. They're paying attention, making those little improvements as they go. To me, that's the recipe for success right there. That's the recipe for becoming an absolute monster of an IEM company, which I think these guys are headed towards, because it's not just the little things that they're paying attention to, it's the bigger things too, like Sonics, for instance. So anyway, we'll get to that, but nice unboxing experience. Overall it's kind of middle of the road, but I don't care. This is 240-ish. I think you can find it anywhere from 220 to 260. So I'm just splitting the difference, calling it a $240 set. And I just think it's fabulous. I really do. I love what these guys are doing. Let's get this stuff put away so we can get to the nitty-gritty. On to some specs for you, courtesy of headfi.org. We have an impedance of 29 ohms, a sensitivity of 110 decibels, and then your configuration is dual dynamic driver, 8mm and 10mm. Okay, I believe those are in oh gosh, not concentric. I love that word though. They're working in tandem, and then not independently, not separated. And then you've got 4 BAs. 2 are composites, and then 2 are singles, and you've got the composites, I believe, are handling the mids, and then the singles are handling the highs. So it's a total of 8 drivers, 2 dynamics, 6 BAs. Really, just I think this is my ideal configuration. I think I found my ideal configuration, guys. I think I finally did. Yeah, so nicely done. All right, what else? Oh yeah, so we went over the cable. It's, I think, just a 4-core, but lots of strands. So nice cable. Yeah, that's it. 1 leather earphone bag and 1 manual. Yep, basically standard stuff. Like the presentation. I like the little design on the box. It's a bit of a fingerprint magnet, so I have to keep wiping it off. But well, since we're done with the unbox, it doesn't matter now. Onto the IEMs themselves, build and fit wise. There's the IVIPQ cable I put on them, and the reason I did is because it's a dark brown. Probably looks black to you, but it's actually a dark brown. And the shells of these guys are a nice combination of it's a stabilized wood, by the way. Really nice, like dark brown and reddish, sort of reddish rust tones. I love the look of these, right down to the gold lettering, the CKLVX, Calvin Klein Louis Vuitton 10. That's not what it stands for. Just disregard that. But just for my sanity and yours, heretofore I will be referring to the set as the D62. And you obviously know why that's D62, 6 BAs, 2 dynamic drivers. Very smart. The shells are... can I say it? Is it still okay to say chunky? Yeah, the shells are chunky. Very thick this way. Not overly large, this way in the sort of diameter. But as far as the depth goes, they're big. If you have smaller ears, you're probably going to have a little bit of trouble getting these to fit comfortably. For me, it was okay. I think that it it was rubbing just a little bit on the back, outer ear, but not to the point where I had to take them out for that reason. So they're comfortable enough to listen to for a long time. And I have been listening to these for quite a while now, since they came on Friday. I haven't really stopped listening to them. I've thrown some other sets in, of course, but these have been my main squeeze for the past 5 days. And I just feel like, I got to be honest with you, I feel like I feel a little bit guilty. It's one of those sets that it's so damn good. And I know I put a lot of time and effort into the channel, and Myer-Audio has been kind enough to both send the Slevo SL41 Mark II and the D62 to me free of charge. I did purchase the D41. That was my first set from them. But you feel just a little bit, at least I do, I feel just a little bit guilty for getting this set for free, because it's conceivably or possibly the best set that I own at this point. I haven't broken the tie with the Pen and Fan 2 or Fan 3, because the Fan 3 has got like just incredible technical performance. These are really not far behind, and they make the difference for me is that they just have better bass quality and quantity than the Fan does. Mostly in the sub bass. Yeah, they got rumble for sure. So I can't stop polishing them either. But yeah, no, nice build quality, 3D printed resin. It'll look great, I'm sure. The stabilized wood faceplate, the gold lettering. Nozzle length is medium. Nozzle like diameter, medium. A little bit on the large side, but you can put any tips you want on there, and you shouldn't have a problem fitting them in your ears from that standpoint. My only concern would be for people with very small outer ears, that these are just going to press on your ears and create hot spots. And that might be the only critique that I give this set today, or ever for that matter. Anyway, let's move on to sonic impressions and graph, because this is where it gets really fun for me. Let's see here. We'll bring up the old REW graph. Let me pop off my headlamp so you guys don't get that stupid shining in your face. Oh, overlays, there we go. Okay, so posted the graph in the community section. I think I measured them pretty quick. It was like over the weekend, if not Friday, then Saturday. And then I posted a comparison between this and the Fan 3, so you guys could sort of see where my preferences are. I didn't think that it was going to be... I didn't think I was going to land kind of where I did. I thought that my preferences would be more bass, more mid-bass in particular, than either of those sets sort of present on the graph, but they both sound like they have more bass than the graph presents. In this set, in the D62, the sub bass obviously is there, so there's rumble. There's a nice amount of weight to it, and but the mid bass looks like it's sort of it's not a tuck, it's not a scoop, it's not anything like that, but it looks like there's a little bit less mid bass. It presents with more mid bass than this. It's just, it stays very clean and decays very quickly, and does not bleed at all into the mids. So step one, just about perfection for me insofar as the bass goes. And I would say I wish it had a little bit more mid bass, except it sounds like it has enough mid bass to me, even if it doesn't graph like it has more mid bass. I don't know how to describe it, other than that it sounds a little different than it graphs, and that's how it is. Also in the mids, the mids aren't super recessed. This is more of a U shape than a V shape, I would say. The mids are very clear. They are slightly warm, just how I like them. Engaging but detailed, clear, separated, wonderful. And then the ear gain here, not super steep, but it does rise quite a bit from about 800 hertz all the way up to 2.5K. I like that energy. I don't find it to be shouty or in your face or like annoying in any way, shape, or form. That's my preference. I'd rather have more ear gain than less. Of course, they're sets that are a little over the top, even for me. But this one sort of hit the right balance, and then the release into the treble I think is just about perfect. You'll see it has a peak right around 4.5K, 4.5K, drops down for sibilance, and then picks back up around 8, and then drops back down around 10, then picks back up around 12, and then by the time we get to where I stop hearing things at 16, it's dropped off. And this little bit right here, I guess you'd call air, but I don't know. Maybe some of y'all pick that up. I won't. I didn't, and I won't. So, plenty of sparkle, plenty of energy, plenty of extension, crazy amount of detail, really good amount of stage. The clarity is what really, to me, almost broke the tie between the bass and the clarity of the treble. It almost broke the tie with the Fan 3, but the Fan 3 is just crazy technical. Like, so to me, I like the set a little bit better, like myself, but I'm trying to be objective, so that's why I won't break the tie, because I could see how some people would like the Fan 3 better. For me, I just a little bit of an edge, just because of the bass and the treble clarity, and very like wide and deep soundstage of the D62. It makes it just a beautiful ride, just a beautiful ride from start to finish. Let me take out the right side here and see if I still have a Fan 3 left or right. Yeah, I do, except it's green. How about this one? There we go. Okay. Oh, that's the right channel anyway. So yeah, just like you saw in the community section, if you saw it, you can see this is much steadier, and so the mid bass becomes more of a focus right through here. It still has rumble, which is surprising, but it does. Not as much as the D62, but the Fan 3 still has some rumble, and then has sort of a stepped ear gain, which is very interesting, and then its treble looks peaky, but presents a lot smoother than that. Crazy amount of detail, just crazy. And imaging, right? That was the big thing for the Fan 3, was that laser precise instrument placement / imaging. Crazy, right? Crazy. So, all right, let me take that one back out. There we go. Let's see. What does it do well? Well, of course, it does metal well. That's the first test that it gets. It got, let's see, it got the entirety of Altered States by Tesseract, which is now back in the fold for me. I'd almost forgotten about that band and how good they are. That is the only album I believe that has Ash as the lead singer. The other dude has been with them was with them before and with them after, and he's incredible too, but Ash's voice is angelic, ethereal. He sounds like he could be a woman half of the time, and then he sings, in the lower register, and you're like, that's a dude. But crazy amount of range, especially upper range. That album is one of my all-time favorites, and I will say thank you to Rogue Gorilla for bringing Tesseract back to my attention, because I don't know when that would have happened if he hadn't mentioned it. Anywho, so that was a great one. Fear Inoculum, of course, went through. Emperor of Sand, I went through. Cold Dark Place, which was released either right before or right after Emperor of Sand. Might have been closer to Once More Around the Sun. But anyway, Mastodon got some play. Tool got some play. Tesseract got some play. And then the test tracks. And what I can say about this set is that it is definitely a universal style of tuning. It is an all-arounder. There was not a weak point. It had the text to handle things like, John Coltrane, Miles Davis, and Anna Netrebko, and Melody Gardot, and classical, some, what was I listening to? Oh, God, I'll have to look it up. Anyway, it did handle, orchestral music very nicely. Brahms? Was it Brahms? I'll have to look. Vivaldi was one. Sorry, Vivaldi always gets a little bit of play. All of that was good. It just ate pop and K-pop for breakfast. it was just like that, and like with straight, straight up rock and alt rock, like Radiohead, and things like my usual stuff, Highly Suspect and Royal Blood. It just ate him for breakfast. I mean, it was like not even trying. And I think that's the thing about this set is, it's kind of like it's that effortless feel. Like it doesn't feel like it's struggling or straining to do anything. Nothing gets lost, nothing gets masked, but nothing sounds like overly strained. I don't know how else to say it. It's like you see a singer, some singers, when they sing, their face is like, this was me, their face turns kind of red. You can see like their tendons in their neck standing out. Like you can see like anguish on their face, like they're just really like. And then there are singers that could be singing the craziest freaking stuff that you've ever heard, and it looks like they're almost taking a nap. You know what I mean? So it's more like that. It's more like it could be taking a nap and playing Archspire. It could be taking a nap and playing Vivaldi. It could be taking a nap and playing, whatever. They just they just play it. Anything and everything you could possibly throw at it, it just plays. I think it'd probably be pretty good for gaming too, although I did not put it to that test. I don't really have current gaming stuff. This is the laptop that I use for my son for Roblox, and then I've got a PS4 and a Switch. None of those are exactly none of them. This graphics card in this is nondescript to be nice. But I think it would, based on the technical performance, based on the fact that there isn't too much bass, and the fact that the treble is so precise. I think it would make a good thing for gaming, and certainly for movies, because you're going to get those, action movies. You're going to get like the gunfire and the big explosions and stuff like that. It's a pretty sick set overall. I'm really, really impressed with it. I don't know what else to say, guys. I mean, this gets a highly recommended. It tied for IEM of the year for 2024. I have listened to, again, another thanks to Rogue for sending me the SLT6 from Myer-Audio for a comparison. Got him Monday? Yep, Monday I got him, or Tuesday. So, was it yesterday? Crap, I think it was Monday. Started listening to him yesterday alongside of the D62, and I still like the D62 better. The SLT6 is a 6BA per side set, and it will get its own review if I can possibly squeeze it in before the end of the year and also get them back to their owner, who I'm sure misses them. I'll do my best to get that set reviewed, but for me, it was the D62 by a little bit. Just a little bit better, and it's probably because of the dynamic driver bass. So, I could probably just name it IEM of the year for me. I'm almost there. By the time we get to the all-time list, you may see it crack the top spot by itself. We'll see. Anyway, decent unbox, great accessories, great case, really good cable, really good build, really good fit as long as your ears aren't too small, and the sonics on this are just freaking incredible. Like, this is, I don't know if I really stressed it enough, but it's one of those sets that just makes you take notice immediately, grabs you, and doesn't let you go. And there's only a handful of sets. You'll see on the tier ranking, I call it brain melting sets. This is a brain melting set, and there's only 4 or 5 of them that get that ranking from me, but this is one. Brain melt in the best way possible. So congrats to Myer-Audio. You guys had a heck of a year. Great start last year, followed up with some very serious sets, addressed concerns, addressed a couple of problems, made improvements, did little things like give your cable an L termination so it'll fit in the case better. Like, really, really nice job, guys. Happy to be one of the people that you send sets to for review. You keep making sets like this, I'll keep doing reviews like this. Everybody's going to be happy, because Well, when it's good, it's good. And this isn't just good, it's great. Alright, that's going to do it for today. What's next? Probably the SLT6 is going to be next. I think I'm just going to do that so I can get it back to my buddy. And yeah, I'm going to enjoy the heck out of doing that for the next couple of days. So, awesome. Alright, for now, be careful, be safe, please be nice. Love y'all. Nothing but peace to you. See ya on Friday.